Yeah, I gotta fix my schedule and get back to Patreon stuff, and I gotta throw it out. I've been so stressed out and so worried about shit, but I need to fix it, and that involves coming on here earlier. It's either that or quit. What do you think? Shut it down?
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes.
Shut it down. That's what I thought.
Kill it anyway.
Might as well. My nose just suddenly started running. It's going to aggravate me trying not to sniffle into the microphone all freaking night now. I apologize in advance.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this
The
video
cocaine.
because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Yeah, appreciate you guys coming out. We missed last night. My niece graduated. It's been a busy week because school's ending. So last night my niece graduated. She graduated with all kinds of honors and stuff. So congratulations to Noelle. And then today, Oliver had a leadership day. And Oliver's like the sweetest kid in the world, okay? Like, he's always looking out for other people. You know, he's quiet. He minds his manners. He doesn't get in trouble. He's always thinking about other people. One time, Ollie's teacher was talking to Mariah, and he, like, teared up talking about how Ollie goes out of his way to, like, speak to this one kid who didn't know any English. Like, even they downloaded an app to translate their conversations back and forth. Because the kid didn't have any friends or whatever. So Ollie's like the sweetest kid in the world. He decided that he wanted to... I didn't know what was going on. He just says he had leadership day today. And it's like a program that you go to, and it's about how the kids are becoming leaders and what they're learning in elementary school. Right? It's not like awards day. It's leadership day. And Ollie says that he is going to be singing in front of the school. Now, Ollie constantly sings to himself, okay? Constantly. He's making sound effects for his own life. He sings like little things during the day. He's always singing in the background or something. And we encourage that and support that, right? We're like, hey, you're a good singer, right? I would never tell me like he's a bad singer or whatever. The problem is, like, I don't know how generous the general public would be to him, or older kids, right? He's in 3rd grade, but there's 5th graders there too, and their siblings or whatever. I don't know how supportive they would be. So I'm like, what are you going to sing, buddy? And he tells me this song. So Ollie's currently obsessed with Godzilla, specifically Shin Godzilla, which is one of there's a bunch of different Godzillas. He tells everybody about it. That's what he loves to talk about. He made his own card game, like on index cards, that you can play the different Godzilla characters and fight them, kind of like Pokemon. And this is what he decided to say. I don't know if this is copyright or not. Let me look it up first. It's like an opera song, but it's from Shin Godzilla, and it plays in a lot of the backgrounds he likes. Yeah, it's like opera. And so he tells me he's going to sing that in the car after graduation. And Mariah's like, in front of the whole school? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, and he doesn't even know the words. So he needs me to print off the lyrics. But it was not in front of the whole school, I guess I should say. And I'm kind of glad, like, obviously, I would never say anything mean to my kid, but I feel like other people would have been like, what the fuck is this? And the lyrics are kind of dark too. I don't know. Anyways, he did sing this in front of just his class, and he did a really good job. I printed off the lyrics. He didn't want any music. He did a cappella, but just imagine a fucking 9-year-old kid standing up in front of their class and trying to sing opera music. So Ollie did very good. So here's this. This is it. So that's what Ollie was trying to sing. But again, he doesn't even know what embarrassment is, right? Because we would never embarrass him. I think that's something you get like when you're older. right? You get embarrassed or nervous or anxious or whatever. He has none of that, right? Ali's living his best life all the time. But the name of the song is called If I Die in This World. I'll read you the lyrics. I don't know that I could play all this, but this is what Ali's saying. It's probably copywritten. But here are the lyrics. And obviously, if you think about it from a kid, it sounds like really dark. But obviously, it has something to do with Godzilla, right? Like Godzilla being like a foreign alien thing and coming to the world or whatever. But here's the lyrics. If I die in this world, who will know something of me? I am lost, no one knows. There's no trace of my yearning. If I die in this world, but I must carry on. Who will know something of me? Nothing worse can befall. I am lost, no one knows. All my fears, all my tears. There's no trace of my yearning. Tell my heart there's a hole. I wear a void, not even hope. A downward slope is all I see. I wear a void as long as breath comes from my mouth. Not even hope. I may yet stand the slightest chance. A downward slope, a shaft of light is all I need. Is all I see to cease the darkness killing me. But it's like opera music. He did very well. So he tried, and he did very well. And his classmates cheered for him. Me and Mariah cheered for him. And I printed off the lyrics a cappella. He just wanted to sing it without that. And he did a leader. They made him make their basically like it's not PowerPoint. It's called what is it? Google Docs. They made him do a little presentation of what they learned this year and what they're thankful for and how they're a good leader. That was fun. That was the morning time. Then we checked the boys out from school, and then we all came home and took a nap because we got up early this morning. And then we had a sports banquet afterwards. So I think it started at 6 or so, and did a sports banquet. So it's just been a busy week. Liam played golf this year, so that was a middle school sports banquet. And then I came to the office after that, so hopefully we'll be back on schedule and get in here earlier and see what we can do. School's winding down, so that's been a lot of the stuff that's going on. Very interesting song choice from Ollie. But that's all over with. Like I said, niece graduated. And then the next relative I have graduating will be my other sister's daughter, my other niece. But she's like Liam's age. So that's still 4 or 5. Oh, for her, it's 3 years away. Liam, it's 4 years away. So hopefully time slows down some. Makes me feel old. But is what it is, I guess. Mariah sent me something on Facebook, which leads us to a Burt Lynch. Burt Lynch is going to be seeing me in prison over this.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Burt a little kiss.
Now, that is an image that Burt Lynch posted, and I edited it to where he's holding another image of himself. Like, I'll show it to you again, right? It's him, an image he posted, right? And he's holding an image of himself.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Burt a little kiss.
And that's it. That's all that's going on. And then there's a voice that says, the power of Christ compels you to give little Burt a little kiss. Okay? That's what's going on there. So let's see what Burt had to say about it. It is right at the end of his. Let's see if we can just grab it. Oh, I know how to find Burt Lynch. If I go over here to my notifications, Burt Lynch just started following my channel. Thank you, Burt Lynch. I appreciate it. He just started following my channel today. He was watching in secrecy. Now he's a true believer. He's a follower. And it'll take a second. Let's go through the out there. All right, here it is. So it's already keyed up to the right spot. Let's back up about 30 seconds, and then I'll let you see what he's talking about and what's going on.
Khaled, Madonna, Lenny Kravitz, ASAP Rocky, Cardi B, Kris Jenner, Rita Naomi, Mama Jenner, Sean Penn, Tyrese Gibson.
It's supposed to be a list of people going to Diddy parties is what he's talking about right now.
Zendaya, Big Sean.
Allegedly.
These are all the people that attended the freak-offs.
Ah.
You want to know what a freak-off was? It was an orgy. It was an orgy that started after midnight and it included children, kids, little kids.
So right now, Bird is making the claim that all those people that were just named were fucking kids with Diddy. All those famous people with tons of money and tons of lawyers, he's claiming they were fucking kids. But now he's going to tell me what I'm allowed to post and not post. So just wait.
These people are all going to be running to make deals. They're all going to be trying to make deals with the government. They're going to try to get they're going to try to get themselves out of trouble. They've been blackmailed.
Oh no.
That's how he got so wealthy. You know, write me a check every month and I won't send these pictures out. Trump today signed a law,
Here's what I think. I think if you have enough power and enough money, and there's a gigantic group of people, and you're into some weird shit, like Diddy was into like being a cuck, basically, right? Sitting in the cuck chair and watching other people do stuff, and then him doing stuff after they were done. You could find, if the internet's taught us anything, I don't know if you guys remember, but I joined a support group for people who were sexually aroused by women in high heels and or bare feet trying to start old cars. Okay? Like, there are freaks out there, and they will find other people. Got it? That's just part of it. So Diddy probably found other people. I'm not saying that nobody ever slept with him for, like, money or power or fame. They probably did. Anytime you look at wealthy people, there's probably people that have done things for them that they wouldn't do for other people for money, power, or fame. It just happens. I also saw, that made me think of something I heard today, that if you're the type of person that says, oh, this female slept her way to the top, you should also recognize that there was a man involved in that situation, and that the only way that they would give them a promotion or a job or whatever is by forcing that person to sleep with them. Like, there's two sides to that coin, first of all. But second of all, anytime you have somebody with money, power, fame, there's probably people that are willing to do unscrupulous things that they would not do with someone else. And I also think a lot of people are just into weird shit. And they were probably into the same weird shit that Diddy was into. I don't know. I don't think there were kids involved. There were kids right there. They're fucking kids. Whatever.
A bill, not a bill, an actual law. Check every month and I won't send these pictures out. Trump today signed a bill, not a bill, an actual law.
Signed a bill, not a bill, an actual law. Signed a law, not a law. Yeah, not a bill, not a law. An actual law. Not a bill, not a law. I don't think he knows the difference.
That first lady put through, this was her move, and it got approval from everybody in the Senate and everybody in the White House. Everybody went along with this. Everybody.
I don't know. Did this... I know Melania Melania appeared for this, and I guess she claims she backed it, but I don't think it was her thing.
Everybody did, because none of them want this to happen. And it is the take it down law, which means you can no longer post a picture of your ex naked in the shower.
Yeah, it was introduced by Ted Cruz.
Or doing something naughty without their written permission. And if you do, you can go to jail for 6 years.
Ooh, 6 years in jail. It is, this is based on revenge porn, and AI images of someone.
So all you girlfriends out there that have been sending out pictures of your boys doing what they're doing, or you guys that have been trying to get back at your girlfriends, all of that stuff is against the law now. Used to be
oh my God
about it, but now they can't nationwide.
Ooh, that's just not true. So many states have revenge porn laws already in place. There's federal stuff around of revenge porn that was already in place. This has to do more with AI. This has to do with more with AI images.
You post and even if it's fake, even if it's a deep fake. So there's somebody out there right now on the internet that has created a deep fake about me.
Oh,
and you know who you are.
Who's he talking about, chat? Who's he talking about?
And you post it all the time on your podcast. And you better take it down.
On your podcast? What podcast?
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Mwah.
Because now that there's a law, I'm going to make sure that the law knows about those pictures.
Oh my God. You're going to make sure that the law knows about a picture of you holding a picture of you? You better.
Them down.
Take them down.
Final warning.
Final warning.
Folks, I have to go. I made a promise to be somewhere tonight. This has something to do with trying to get my car fixed.
He's got to go. He's got to go. I don't know. Someone said, I'm not claiming this, but someone said that Bert has resorted to being a gigolo to get his car fixed. I don't know. I didn't say that. Someone else said that. He has to be there on time to get his car fixed. Now, chat, let's see if this law applies to me. Here we go. Breaking down the text. We're calling in the experts. Let's see if it applies to me. 119th Congress of the United States of America at the first session begun and held in the city of Washington on Friday, the 3rd day of January, 2025, to require covered platforms to remove non-consensual, intimate, visual depictions, and for other purposes. Short title, this act may be cited as the tools to address known exploitation by immobilizing technology deepfakes on websites and networks act, or the Take It Down Act. They try way too hard to make everything an acronym. Like this fucking sentence doesn't even make sense. We get it. Just call it the Take It Down Act. It doesn't have to be not everything has to be an acronym, Congress. Criminal prohibition on intentional disclosure of non-consensual intimate visual depictions. In general, Section 223 of the Communications Act of 1934, 47 U.S.C. 223 is amended by redesignating subsection H as subsection I, by inserting after subsection G the following. H, intentional disclosure of non-consensual intimate visual depictions. Okay? Definitions in this subsection. Consent. The term consent means an affirmative, conscious, and voluntary authorization made by an individual free from force, fraud, duress, misrepresentation, or coercion. B, digital forgery. The term digital forgery means any intimate visual depiction of an identifiable individual created through the use of software, machine learning, AI, or any other computer-generated or technological means, including by adapting, modifying, manipulating, or altering an authentic visual depiction that, when viewed as a whole by a reasonable person, is indistinguishable from an authentic visual depiction of the individual. Now, do you think a picture of Bert holding another tiny Bert in his hand is an authentic visual depiction of the individual? If I told you there's a 6 foot tall Bert holding a 10-inch tall Bert in his hand, would that be an authentic visual depiction of the individual? Not that that matters, because we're going to rule it out in a second anyways. Identifiable individual. The term identifiable individual means an individual who appears in whole or in part in an intimate visual depiction. We keep hearing that phrase, intimate visual depiction, whose face, likeness, or other distinguishable characteristic, including a unique birthmark or other recognizable feature, is displayed in connection with such intimate visual depiction. D, interactive computer service. The term interactive computer service has meaning given the term in Section 230, intimate visual depiction. The term intimate visual depiction has the meaning given in such term in Section 1309 of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road, okay? This is how we get to the bottom of this. Intimate visual depiction. Am I sharing an intimate visual depiction of Bert? Am I doing that when I do this?
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Hint, the answer is no. But let's see, because this bill says if you want the definition of the term intimate visual depiction, you should get the given such term in subsection 1309 of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022. Let's go see. Let's pull that one up, chat, and see what it is. $6851 civil action relating to disclosure of intimate images. This is 15 USC 6851 civil action relating to disclosure of intimate images. Okay? That's where it told us to go. If you click this link, 15 USC 6851, 15 USC 6851, and we're at 6851. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Number 5. The term intimate visual depiction means a visual depiction as the term is defined in section 2256.5 of Title 18 that depicts 1. The uncovered genitals, anus, pubic region, or post-pubescent female nipple of an identifiable individual. Do you guys see in that image the genitals, the pubic area, the anus, or the post-pubescent female nipple? No? Me neither. Because it's not there. Weird. 2. The display or transfer of bodily sexual fluids. Anybody got images of Bert covered in cum? No? No, me neither. It could be the transfer of bodily sexual fluids to any part of the body of an identifiable individual or from the body of an identifiable individual or an identifiable individual engaging in sexually explicit conduct, and includes any visual depictions described in subparagraph A produced while the identifiable individual was in public place, or if the individual did not voluntarily display the content depicted, voluntarily display the content depicted. Where did I get that image from, chat? Bert's mentioned it several times. Where did I get that image of Bert from? Bert's Facebook. Bert's Facebook. Would you call that a voluntarily displayed the content depicted? Then, Bert, you're losing everywhere. Everywhere you're losing. Unless you're going to start calling yourself a female and saying that you have female nipples. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Gifted Nancy and Gelbound won a subscription. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Nancy and Gelbound 1.
Thank you very much for the gifted subscription. So I think we're good, Bart. You can tell the law all you want. But unless you've got uncovered genitals, anus, post-pubescent female nipples, I think we're covered here. Or you're covered in semen. You tell me. Which one of those is this?
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
If anything, in that image, I covered up some of your pubic area because I was a little uncomfortable with how much was being shown. Okay? I did that for you, to protect you, Bert. That is the Take It Down Act, everybody. I don't think it's a bad law. I think that people will misuse it. There's a part in there of, like, if you contact a platform, they only have so many days to take it down, or they can get in trouble. I think people will misuse that when, just like they misuse copyright right now. Like, people will copyright strike shit that should not be enforced through copyright. And YouTube just has to take it down until you go to court, right? And then they lose in court, whatever, and they'll put it back up. But I think people will abuse it for sure. But I don't think it's that bad of a law. All right, here we go. Closing out Bert. We are done with Bertrude. Mariah sent me a video she said we should watch, so that's what we're about to do. It's a sovereign citizen video. Anybody want sovereign citizen? Well, you're about to get it either way. So, good luck avoiding it. That's what I'm saying, chat. Where is the audio button? There it is. Here we go.
On February 29, 2024, officers pulled over a vehicle that had an unidentifiable license plate.
Can you roll this back window down for me? Hello. Hi.
Oh, kids back there.
Hi, my name is Officer Fager with the Edgewater Police. The reason I stopped you, he's not.
She's got crazy in them eyes, chat. I can tell already. This is going to be a good one.
Not in his seatbelt, and your tag is obscured. The top of it, you can't see what it is, and it doesn't come back to anything.
My camera is blocking the top.
Yeah. Do you have your driver's license with you? Do you have an actual driver's license?
Do you have a real driver? The thing you just handed to me is a gift card to Texas Roadhouse, ma'am.
Oh, that is my ID. I'm an American State National.
Okay, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a registration and valid proof of insurance?
She's an American sovereign national, guys.
I'm not engaging in the commercial use of the highways or byways, nor am I operating in a for.
Damn it. She brings it. That's a whole nother level. Like, if you want to play sovereign citizen, don't do it with your kids, dude. Have one car that you put your kids in that's actually registered and shit, and you got a license for. Go play sovereign citizen by yourself.
Higher capacity. I'm a foreign national exempt from foreign law under Amendment 11 of both the Constitution and the Constitution of the United States, and I claim all my exemptions.
Okay, so do you have any other documentation from the United States government saying that you're exempt from these, or that you're
I don't have my paperwork in the car with me, but I do have it.
Okay.
And that's my form of ID, and those are my private plates on the car.
Okay, this is a passport. Okay, so I'm aware of your group that you're with. This doesn't grant you any rights to drive.
Please run my pass.
I will. Do you have a driver's license in
I like to imagine your name means Sarasota. Fuck out of here.
any state in the United States?
No.
I don't know.
No. Okay. Do you have any other documentation? Nothing from the United States government saying you have diplomatic immunity?
My paperwork is at my house.
Okay. Are you aware that in the United States, when you're a diplomat inside the United, are you claiming to be a diplomat? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm a foreign state national.
Right. So
That's what I am.
So you're a foreign state national.
Yes, and
But
if you run my
you're claiming
passport,
diplomatic
you will
immunity,
see-
correct?
If you run my passport, you'll be able to see my documents there. It reflects.
So do you have
my
a
status.
driver's license in any state in the United States?
That is my form of ID, sir.
Do you have a driver's license? That's not my question. Do you have a driver's license? You do not. Okay.
No, that is my form of ID.
Do you have a registration or a valid insurance for the vehicle? It's a yes or no question.
No.
Okay.
Front of house. That makes sense.
No, he has.
It was hanging
Front of house, back of house. I gotcha.
Didn't have his seatbelt
All the
on.
way through school. And
Okay, where did you obtain that?
When you Google it, you know what comes up. Sarasota FOH likely refers to the Fountains of Hope, a senior living community in Sarasota, Florida, offering assisted living and memory care. I would run with that. I'd be like, yeah, we're the nursing home. What you want to fucking fight about it?
Tag.
From foreign state national guy in Alabama who makes the claims.
Okay. So you're aware that in the United States and in the state of Florida, you're required to have specific tags that actually go to the vehicle and is registered. Are you aware of that? Okay. You've been filled with some false information. So in the state of Florida,
It's all you can drink liquor night at the Fountains of Hope. The fountains are flowing.
you're required to have a driver's license.
I'm not sure many people are aware.
We are. I have read a lot about the foreign state
I
nationals.
don't know. I feel like they give up.
And what's weird is like the whole movement was called sovereign citizens. And you had more sovereign citizens, you had regular sovereign citizens, and that got such a bad rap. So what you have is a group of grifters. And let's say grifters A, B, and C came along and they said, here's how you become sovereigns. Okay? And you don't need driver's license, you don't have to pay taxes, you don't have to do this, you don't have to get tags, they can't pull you over because you're not engaging in commerce, you're not a boat, you're a person, and everything's got to be lowercase because you're a real person, not a business, and here's how you cash in your birth certificate and your social security card. Miraz has an uncle that the first time I ever met him tried to get us to take out our social security cards, Google the number on the back of it, and see how much our sovereign national wealth fund was. right? But anyways, grifter A, B, and C came along and did that. Well, people got arrested. People went to jail. People were told that's not real. So then D, E, and F grifter come along. And they say, no, it is real, but they just did it wrong, right? And D, E, F grifter, they come along and they say, this is how you actually do it, and here's the paperwork you fill out, and Ann Vandersteel and this, and Brad Barton and that, and whatever, right? And then GHI came along because people went to jail, people got arrested. Then GH and I grifter came along, right? And they said, no. And then somewhere along the lines, grifter X, Y, and Z came along, and they said, no, you're associated with what they like to call sovereign citizens or sovereign nationals. We don't even use that word because it's got such a bad connotation with it. We're the real deal. We're foreign state nationals. We're, postmaster generals, right? We obey the laws of the sea, whatever the fuck they say. So it's gone through so many evolutions of it failing, outright failing. People in jail, people being arrested, people told it's bullshit, people having to pay fines, drug out of cars. We've been through so many evolutions of this that they're still doing the same thing, but they don't even want to be associated with the people who originally did it. They're like, nope, don't even call me that, bitch. Those people are crazy. I'm the new version of that.
People a bad rap because I've been in situations before where I try to explain to them and they keep calling me sovereign citizen and like.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not. And when you look it up.
We had a person come in here to debate me one time. And they believe a lot of sovereign stuff, but don't want to be called sovereign. Their argument was like, there's too many laws. Only the laws that are in the Constitution should be allowed. The actual Constitution. Congress shouldn't make laws, pass laws, none of that. Just the Constitution. And if they want to make it a law, then they have to amend the Constitution. And I said, what about the speed limit? And they said, yes, that's one that should go away. And I said, do you have kids? And they said, yes. And I said, what about a speed limit at a school zone? And they said, well, that shouldn't be a law. And I said, well, how are you going to keep people from speeding in a school zone and potentially killing your kids or my kids? And they said, people wouldn't do it. You don't need a law to stop people. They just wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't speed. And then I said, if that were true, then how are there ever, we have a law right now and people still do it. We hear all the time about people getting a ticket in a school zone. People do it right now with a law on the books, a parked car from the police sitting in the parking lot, and they get fucking arrested right now. So you're telling me if we take more of that away, the law, the fine, the cop, that nobody will do it? And they just like, well, I don't understand it all. I'm studying with this other guy, but I don't know all the details yet. And they just dipped out. That was the end of it.
Up on the internet, it'll tell you, right? But it'll explain it as a
essentially, it's a sovereign. It is a sovereign citizen entity.
If you cannot argue with me that people would just follow this set of rules that we don't call laws, nobody enforces them, but we have this set of because right now, when we try to enforce laws, people are breaking them. And they know that it's a law, that they'll get in trouble if they're caught. They'll have to pay a fine. They might have to go to jail. They might lose their license, and they still break them. So if we take all the penalties away, you're just telling me that people that would have broken this law just aren't going to do it anymore? Get the fuck out of here.
Do you have keys to the vehicle? Can you hand me the keys?
No, I cannot.
Okay,
if we stop making murder illegal, does that mean like husbands don't get off work early and come home and find their cheating whore of a wife? That was a little personal to me, as you can tell.
Have a car for me?
Oh, windows up. You get out of the car for me, some magic words. He's so calm. Ding, 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 ding.
Get out of the car. Unlock it.
There was a little girl at Liam's school that was in Ollie's class, Ollie's age, that plays the ukulele, just like 2 or 3 chords. But she did that that song "Best Day of My Life" by American authors. They did really good.
Can you unlock it?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Step out of the car.
She's 100% bringing all this trauma. You know how this traumatizes kids, right? All of this is her fault. I know it sucks for the kids. I wish it didn't happen. I wish the kids didn't have to see this or go through this or whatever. But it's not the cops' fault at this point. All that letting them go does, and saying like, well, there's kids in the car, or like, I don't feel like dealing with these people today. It just reinforces their beliefs.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Stop.
The kids are trying to hit the cop.
Get out of the car. You just kicked me. Get out of the car now.
They're holding on to their mom.
Get out of the
Terrible for the kids, but it's her fault.
I know she's your mom. I know she's your mom. I know she's your mom. I know she's your mom.
At least be big enough to say, okay, well, I'm going to calmly step out and be arrested, right? I fucked up. This isn't working. I'm going to calmly step out and, talk to the cop or whatever, right? And probably get a ticket. But then to resist on top of it, have your kids fucking fighting and seeing you in this shape, your kids probably think that you're going to be executed right now. They've probably never seen you react like this ever before, and someone's now having to drag you out of your car.
Your mom's fine, okay? Go back in the car. Go back in the car. It's okay. We're gonna come take her to the grass and you guys can talk to her, okay? Step away from her.
It's already bad enough with father. I don't need her method too. She's the only person I have. Please.
Step back over here.
Please.
Go back to the car, please. Your mom's gonna be okay. Your mom's gonna be okay.
No, just don't.
We're not gonna hurt her. Your mom's gonna be okay.
She's the only person I have. Nothing wrong, please.
That's so sad.
Okay.
These are my children.
Okay.
Please, please.
Go back.
And the mom knows this, right? She's trying to play it up even more to make the kids more reactive.
Back in the car.
If let's say somehow I ended up in this situation, my first thing would be to tell the kids that I'm fine. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. Please go sit in the car and just be quiet. Everything is completely fine. She's like, those are my kids. My kids. Those are my children.
Kids away from me.
They forced me out of my car. They dragged me on the floor like an animal. I did nothing at all. I just
Stand up.
picked my children up from
Stand up.
school.
Watch your phone. Walk over to that car.
I can't believe you're doing this.
Grab that one too.
I did nothing wrong.
Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Hey, come on.
There's the one trying to punch the cops again.
Step over here. Unlock your car. Hey.
Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, dude.
Take a seat in the vehicle. You have any weapons on you? Purse? No. Take a seat. You do, please. Hey. Try to talk to you. Okay? That's right.
Oh yeah, it's the fucking mom's fault.
Out of my car like that. You had no right.
Motorola says you saw the channel.
Right? I'm not a U.S. citizen. Okay, I understand you're doing your job and all that, but I did nothing wrong. And now you're forcibly pushing me into
Get in the car. You're under arrest.
Why?
Because you kicked me. Battery on a law enforcement officer. You did. It's on camera. You did kick me. You did kick me.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
You were pushing me, pulling me out of my car.
They'll definitely hate the cops. So, like, if something happens to them in the next few years, if they don't deal with this or figure out what's actually going on, who was in the right, who was in the wrong, like, say something horrible happens to them, they won't go to the cops because the only image they have of the cops are them dragging their mother away.
car.
I'm right here. Yep. Do you want some quick games like this?
I'm not playing any games.
Asking for help. Is he okay?
He's fine.
Okay.
No.
Do you have someone we can call that can pick the kids up?
I'm trying to call him.
Okay, well, I have your phone. Do you want me to try to call him for you? I'm not going to give you your phone now. What's your PIN? Or you don't have to give me it, but I'm trying to make a phone call for you.
Can I put my PIN in?
Sure.
Adult male detained.
14. Female first search if we have one.
Adult male Baker at 1446.
I heard that.
Oh, they arrested me and they have the kids. I did nothing.
Move your foot.
And you dragged me out of my car. They dragged me out of the car.
Back on, it was like on April Fool's Day, right?
Give me a second.
A lot of people were claiming it wasn't real.
I'm trying to make a phone call. There's 3 kids in the car. They're freaking out right now.
Hell, it might not be real. I never looked it up. I just heard it.
Where are you going to be? Where are you?
Hi, this is Officer Fager with the Edgewater Police Department. Who am I speaking with?
This is Joshua. What's going on?
Are you Are you husband or father of the kid?
No, don't touch me.
I'm not going to touch you.
Are you able to try to respond to take the kid? She's under arrest for battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer with violence.
That doesn't seem like her. I don't understand what's going on.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't seem like her. Who cares? That's over with. She's already arrested. Can you get the kids or not?
Okay, well, you can review the body camera footage because it was her. So do you want to respond to take the kids?
Talk to Dad.
Do you want to have a conversation?
My son.
We're calling to get somebody to come pick you up. Do you have a valid license? Do you have a license right now?
I don't use no license. Sir.
Huh?
I don't use a license.
Well, in the state of Florida, you have to have a valid driver's license to drive a motor vehicle on the roadway.
From some state.
You understand that, right?
A lot of the things they try to allude to is like actual foreign nationals, right? So like, let's say you're the fucking Saudi prince or some shit, or the Saudi prince's nephew, right? You can get away with a lot of shit. You don't have to follow any U.S. laws. You can be banned from coming to the U.S. There's a video of a cop saying, like I know you're a sovereign national. I know you don't have to you know this. You don't have to technically follow any laws, but damn, you're being a dick. I forget what the guy was doing. Like, cannot be arrested, right? Short from like Congress acting. They try to fall under that, but those people are far and few between.
No.
I can see if I get someone closer. Can you give me 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep, you can just call her number back if you want.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
Being a police officer is an inherently dangerous job. So when you're told to do something and you tell them no, we're going to then make you do it. That's just the way it works.
Well, okay. I don't want to be on her side, right? But they have to be lawful commands for her to have to comply with them, right? They can't say strip down naked and get on the hood of your car. No. Right? You're trying to make me do that. You might get away with it once, but that'll be the last time.
This whole sovereign...
But it's still not right. They
committed a
crime. I did not hurt anyone. I was not committing a crime.
You committed
dragged me out.
You committed a misdemeanor in the state of Florida.
My legs, like a animal.
Well, you kicked him.
Sir, I did not kick him. He's dragging my legs, and I'm trying to pull my legs back to sit up in my seat.
You were
so
driving.
If he got kicked, it was not intentional.
You were driving a motor vehicle that is unregistered in the state of Florida, which is a misdemeanor crime, punishable by jail and fines. So you can't go to jail for it.
And you are going to jail for it. You don't have a driver's license in the state of Florida. That's a misdemeanor. You're going to jail for that.
She said she used to have. So she paid $30. Well, no, I know. She paid $30 to this sovereign citizen group to get that tag because she's one of the foreign national.
Someone has taken over David Straight's Telegram account and is posting this on it. Hold on. It says, it's cut off by chat, so I'll read it to you. It says, David Strait wants you to know who killed him. Recorded 12/27/2024. RSVP for the celebration of life in honor of David Strait. www.straightevents.com. And it says, who killed David Strait? He wanted you to know who killed him. Clippers recorded on 12/27/2024. They murdered him for exposing the cabal, and he's not the only one they silenced for knowing their secrets and speaking the truth. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Matthew 16:25. I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. So almost immediately after he died. This was on April the 4th. He died on the 1st or 2nd. I can't remember. This is on the 4th. Damn, they don't even get time for his body to cool off, dude.
Things, and they told her you don't need a license anymore, you don't have to register, you don't have to do all this stuff.
Ask if it's okay if Maya, their next door neighbor, picks up.
Is it okay if Maya, your next door neighbor? Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, are you Maya?
Yes, I am.
Gotcha.
Oh my God. No. Dude, it's something to do with the way they fucking look at you. There's something wrong with this bitch too. Watch this.
Hello.
Hello, are you Maya?
Yes, I am.
Is it in the water down there? Sarasota, fuck out of here, dude.
Gotcha.
6 Alpha 15.
You realize all your cars. Do you have a driver's license?
I do.
Can we see it so we can make sure?
Please tell me it's real.
You realize in the state of Florida, your vehicle has to be registered, right?
It is registered.
Because it's been.
All right. Picture this. Your whole world shattered because something you bought into clearly isn't true. Because if it was, you wouldn't be in the back of the police car. Right? That's done with. Now you say, who could I call who doesn't believe the same things that I believe, who isn't going to show up and get arrested?
Documented time after time after time that somebody tries to do this, and it's proven that it's false. It's not true.
And the few times that cops don't have time, don't want to fuck with them, they got kids, so they're not going to drag them out of the car, don't feel like arguing, let them fucking go, all that shit. That's the ones they use and say, look, he showed this cop, he taught him the law. You got to know the law to enforce the law. That's what makes those times bad. Like, you could say he should just let her go home, right? But that's just influences 1,000 more people when it goes viral in their groups.
Okay? But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't put your hands on a police officer. Not in the United States, not in the state of Florida, not in the city of Edgewater. Okay? There's repercussions to that. All right?
Did you get her
or your feet?
No.
Sovereign thing, or she's...
Well, her. Did she get you onto it? Because she has a tag, too.
No, it's just me.
She's your neighbor.
Who got it first?
You or her?
She
Did she turn you onto it? Say you could look into this?
No, but that's her own business. But I wanted to look into it.
Oh, she has a business doing it?
No,
that's her own.
Like her,
personal business. Yeah, I got you. So she's gonna walk home with your kids. She's not driving her car either. Her car's getting towed.
That's better than they should have done, right? She's gonna let them walk home with their kids,
just like yours. You guys have to have registered vehicles in the state of Florida. They have to be registered.
They could have been a lot worse. They also could have let her drive it away, but again, that just influences more people to do it.
That's the bottom line.
But here's the other thing you have to understand, right? Her vehicle's being towed, but she's walking home with your kids because of how she reacted, okay? She didn't kick me. She didn't put her hands on a police officer screaming at her, right?
Hold on.
A twofer. They got the twofer.
Well, me back and let me know. Oh, okay.
No, hey, I'm right here. It's Sergeant Benz.
I call it the double diddle.
You're going to be able to take her kids. You're going to receive a citation for unregistered motor vehicle. Your vehicle's going to get towed by Edgewater Towing, and you'll be able to walk home with the kids.
Oh! Hear that? They want to tow my car.
They can tow it. It's not.
And he can hear you. You're on the speaker if you want to say something.
It's a vehicle. It has 4 wheels, and it's powered by a motor. It is a motor vehicle, sir.
Except it's registered as automobile.
No, sir. It's going to get towed. She's going to get a ticket, and she'll be on her way.
Okay, but it shouldn't be towed. But I mean, we're not causing a problem, but it should not be towed.
Well, it's not registered. The Florida registration
Bro, just say, we'll fight it in court.
On it was canceled, so therefore it's no longer registered.
Could you come down here, sir? We need to talk to you about something.
Right, and she doesn't actually need a registration.
Oh, yeah. Actually, there was an example of that. It wasn't sovereign citizens. I think a cop pulled somebody over, cut them a break, probably didn't question them as much as they should, and maybe they were drunk or something, and then literally, like, the cop's still following them on the dash cam, 2 red lights down. They're turning right or something. They come to like a half-ass stop and turn right and then fucking T-bone somebody.
Registration. It is a private property. It's private automobile. It's a part
And
of a
it's in
trust.
trust.
It is in a
Yes,
trust.
so you keep that in mind.
If you do, I mean,
it's gonna cost you guys a lot.
but if you do tow it, there are going to be issues. It's
Okay, bring the issues.
in a trust. It's private property. It is not to be towed. If you run her passport, it'll show you that you're not supposed to even question or detain her for any reason.
This is what Ann Vandersteel tried to do. And then she got mad. She went through this program, paid hundreds of dollars, got some weird sovereign national fucking stamp on her passport or some shit, talked to a judge from Alaska, and then she got mad because when she went to the airport to leave the country, they questioned her for like 4.5 hours.
So we're not questioning her, detaining her. She actually showed up at the traffic stop at the request of the other female to pick up her kids. It was discovered when she got her here that her vehicle was unregistered.
Anytime. Here's a tip, chat. Anytime someone asks you to come to the scene, DUI, sovereign citizen, it don't matter. Car wreck. If someone calls you in the presence of police and asks you to come, or the cops ask if you can pick up the car or do this, expect they're going to run your license. They're going to run your tags. They're going to check to see if you have any warrants. We've seen a couple times people come up to like grab somebody's car because the cops aren't going to tow it, and they got fucking warrants in their name.
We have proof from the Department of Motor Vehicles, from Department of Transportation. It doesn't have to be registered.
They say the Department of Transportation is not real. I don't know what that means.
But again, it does not have to be registered, so please reconsider towing it because that's in violation.
I got you. Okay, I've reconsidered it, and it's still going to get towed, okay?
I thought about it. Fuck you.
Yes, her car's getting towed. Yeah, she's going to jail. She's going to jail, yeah. She kicked the police officers.
No.
She kicked him.
Hi.
You taking
It
kids?
would really help if you let me take my car.
It's not registered, ma'am.
It is registered.
It's not.
I don't know how to.
Where's it registered?
With the DOT, US DOT, with the transportation, your company, all your.
No, City of Edgewater. We don't work for DOT, ma'am.
I know you don't work, but.
So, well, you said my company. It's not my company.
But it is registered as a private property and it's put in trust, so it should technically be treated differently than cars that are on roads that are in commerce, correct?
No.
Yes.
No.
What do you mean?
So they personally believe that all the traffic laws only apply to like commercial vehicles, right? They'll try to argue like it's not a commercial vehicle. I'm not doing interstate commerce or intrastate commerce. They try to argue this at every traffic stop. I'm not a CDL holder. It's not a commercial vehicle, and it doesn't apply. It doesn't matter.
What law are you basing this off of?
Constitution.
No. Okay.
I have
The
the
U.S.
right.
Constitution talks about commerce
Supreme-
vehicles.
And on Supreme Court, actually, if you have time and you want.
Nope, I'm not going to read any of your paperwork. You can bring that to your court date if you want.
See,
But your vehicle is going to be towed today.
Right, but I do have a.
I'll tell you this. Anybody can register for a U.S. DOT number, okay? And they often do, register for DOT numbers. They get that DOT number, and then they get it put on a plate. Instead of, like, usually a DOT number's on the side of a tractor and trailer, and they're like sticker numbers. They get it made into plates from, like, what would you call that? Vanity plate place.
Right to be without the driver license and without the
That's
registration.
not true. Not in the state of Florida, not in the United
So
States.
I would appreciate if you give me your business card.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
My name and everything's like that at the bottom of your ticket. The easiest thing for you to do is when you go to town.
So they make a trust. They register the trust with the Department of Transportation. They get DOT numbers.
Do you have any questions or anything else you need to say? Because we're going to get her and the kids out of here before it starts raining. Okay?
Experience. That's all I can say. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Are we free to go?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that went better than I thought it was going to go. See, the plates are just from a vanity place. US DOT, American State National. It's got a number for commercial, transport, or private seller, maybe? Or private travel. Not for commercial, transport, or private travel. US DOT, American State National. There's some company that makes these, I'm sure. She's got the same thing. Except hers says Florida at the top. David Strait was selling for a while. Him and his wife got pulled over in Texas. Both of them ended up in fucking jail. And then the first thing he says when he comes out of jail after getting pulled over in Texas for not having plates, not having a registered car, not having a driver's license, is he pitches his website where you can buy your license to get pulled over and go to jail. Like, what the fuck? Idiots, dude. Battery on an LEO, resisting with violence, operating an unregistered motor vehicle, possessing a counterfeit license plate, unlawful use of badge or indica of authority. Felony. So again, these are like vanity plates. There's some sovereign citizen superstore where you can type in whatever you want and your DOT number, and they make these plates for you.
He hasn't used any force, right?
No, just to pull her out with force.
Yeah, just hands on is not a use of force. No use of force.
There you go. Don't be a sovereign retard, I guess.
Good evening, ladies.
And just like that, she now has a CPS case. The other day, I got pulled over for speeding. I complied with the police officer's driver's license, insurance, registration. Guess what happened? I got a warning instead of a speeding ticket, and I continue on my way after 5 minutes. Maybe you guys should try this. Those are the two comments that were highlighted. All right, what else we got, chat? Oh, by the way, if I end early, it's because we've got some pretty bad storms coming in tonight. We're under a tornado watch for the next few, all the way till like 3 p.m. tomorrow or some shit. So, Walter Masterson. I don't know if you guys have heard about this neurological condition that happens in pets. It's called autism. It's pretty rare, autism. But Walter Masterson's dog has come down with a bad case of autism.
The vaccines gave my dog autism. She doesn't play with sticks anymore. She doesn't bark. She doesn't play fetch at all. The vaccines gave my dog autism. And so look at her. She doesn't bark at all. She's not barking.
Thank you.
Walter Masterson's very funny. I can't believe they let him take a picture with RFK.
Vaccines gave my dog autism. She doesn't play with sticks anymore. She doesn't bark. She doesn't play fetch at all. The vaccines gave my dog autism. And so look at her. She doesn't bark at all. She's not barking.
Thank you.
There is a this is supposedly has been declared white boy summer. Why has it been declared white boy summer? Well, you know, Trump's in office, and a bunch of racist pieces of shit are now making content around White Boy Summer, and they are calling it. They are saying that they are basically have black people or black fatigue. They are tired. The way it was explained in the post I read today was they were tired of black people acting like animals. So that's 1,000% fucking racist. But there they go. We also have, before we get to the summer clip, we also have RFK kind of lashing out a little bit here. I swear that's a thing right now. If you go to, I'll show you. If you go to Twitter, obviously I don't believe that. I think it's racist as fuck. But if you type in black fatigue, it was first used when, you know, the woman that called the little kid the N-word at the park, the fucking like 5-year-old kid. That's when it started popping up in the comments. We're tired of these people, blah, blah. And then they started labeling it black fatigue. And saying that people are just tired of us. Right? As a black man, I have black fatigue. I'm tired of this. No one has more black fatigue than black man who's a respectable and productive member of society. This is why people have black fatigue. Even though there's nothing racist about something, they'll always find a way to make it about race. This shit needs to end soon. Like, I don't want to scroll too far because there's no telling what'll pop up. But in case you didn't understand black fatigue, this short compilation video should explain it in full. Although black fatigue should be renamed to N-word fatigue because nobody has a problem with black folks. It's the N-words we don't like, and I'm not sorry. So that's a new movement that's going on within the far right communities called black fatigue. We have RFK kind of lashing out here. It's kind of fucked up. He still has to answer the question at the end, but.
Listening to your testimony last week, frankly, left me pretty confused and concerned about what is happening at your department.
There are a bunch of people trying to jump on that. When that white lady called that little kid the N-word multiple times, admitted to it on video, said he shouldn't act like one, basically, and to a child, right? They attacked the person recording the video because he had some charges in his past that were completely thrown out in the interest of justice. Not they didn't have enough evidence, not like the witness refused to testify like Phil. In the interest of justice, the DA said, we cannot prosecute this case. We don't think he did it. So they attacked him. He was a black guy. They attacked the kid and the family. They made excuses for her, saying they was going through his purse. It wasn't. It was apparently he like knocked over a diaper bag and may have went through it or picked it up. But again, he's a 5-year-old kid or whatever, 7, 10. I don't remember how old he is. They attacked all those people, and then there are people trying to jump on that train now. Like, we're tired of black people. I'm just going to say it. I know everybody's thinking this. These N-words this, these N-words that, and they're trying to become popular on that. We saw that girl on Pierce Morgan. It's like, yeah, I use the N-word all the time. If I want to, yeah, I use it all the time. And Pierce Morgan's like, you're a deplorable fucking piece of shit racist. And she's like, if you want to call me that, that's fine, but we're tired of it. We're tired of our speech being silenced.
Listening to your testimony last week, frankly, left me pretty confused and concerned about what is happening at your department. You repeatedly claim that staffing and funding cuts that have been reported on publicly and even confirmed by your department staff are not happening.
All right, so here's the scenario. There are staffing and funding cuts that are coming down from his department. He knows this, but he's saying there are no staffing and funding cuts coming down from his department.
So either you're lying or you're not the one making the decisions. You said, and I quote, I made sure that Head Start was not cut. Later going on to say there should not be any delays, the funding is there. Well, Mr. Secretary, HHS is delaying billions in funding for Head Start and child care. Whose decision was it to withhold child care and development block grant funding?
Senator, I want to point out that in 2021, at the beginning of his administration, President Biden...
So now he's talking about Biden. He will not address the question that he was asked.
Submitted his budget on May... You know what? You made an accusation to me, and I'm going to answer it.
Okay, I appreciate
On May
that.
28th, he submitted his budget. So our budget. We're a new administration.
Okay, you can. Go
I also want to point out.
I have just 2 minutes left. I asked you a specific.
I want to point out something, Senator. You presided here, I think, for 32 years. You presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Well,
our people are now the sickest people in the world.
Seriously,
because you have not done your job.
Seriously. That is an
what have you done about it? What have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Mr. Secretary,
what have you done about the...
By the way, she asked him about staffing and funding cuts coming down from HHS. He's like, you presided over us becoming the sickest people in the world. What have you done about disease?
Epidemic of chronic people in the world.
Seriously.
Because you have not done your job.
Seriously. That is an
what have you done about it? What have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Mr. Secretary.
The fact that Americans a lot of times have worse health outcomes than other nations like us is a lot to do with, like, we make money, we live good lives, people get lazier, people eat worse diets, sedentary, and healthcare's stupid fucking expensive.
Because you have
Mr.
not done your job.
Seriously. That is an
what have you done about it? What have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Mr. Secretary,
what have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Seriously, Madam
Secretary,
Chairman.
I would ask it to hold back and let the senator ask the questions.
Mr. Secretary, I'm asking you a question about child care. I'm asking you who made the decision to withhold child care and development block grant funding.
That was made by my department.
At the end of it, he still fucking had to admit it, finally. So she asked this originally, and he's like, I'd like to point you to 2021 when Joe Biden took office, and their budget was submitted on May the 28th in the year of our Lord. Then finally, he's like, that was me.
Ask the questions.
Mr. Secretary, I'm asking you a question about child care. I'm asking you who made the decision to withhold child care and development block grant funding.
That was made by my department.
Okay.
So all that lash out just for his viral moment. I think one of the things that is wrong with Congress and politicians in general right now is while they're doing their job, they're also trying to make viral clips. There's an entire group of congressmen that you never hear about, right? The Congress people that you never hear about. Because they just do their fucking job. They vote, they comment if somebody asks them a comment, and that's it. There's another group of people that, like MTG, like they're farming fucking clips instead of doing their job. That's what they're doing. Do you think we'll ever have any real goddamn conversations? Of course not. In the battle over the Allspark, that's right. Then we have a little question and answer session with RFK.
Up question. Do you know the number one cause of preventable death in America today?
What's the over-under, chat? Does RFK, who claims he's here to make America healthy again, that's his only goal, right? We got dyes and vaccines and all kinds of shit, right? Congress. Do you know the number one preventable cause of death? Does RFK know it? In the U.S. Does RFK know it? I'm not asking you what it is. I'm asking you if he knows it.
Up question. Do you know the number one cause of preventable death in America today?
The number one cause.
A preventable death in America.
Well, I know what the number one cause of deaths is in this country. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Preventable? Yeah, I mean, you guys said the same thing. He just used the word preventable. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. Preventable deaths.
Well, I know what the number one cause of deaths is in this country. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm talking about tobacco. You fired the head of the CDC's Office of Smoking and Health and eliminated their efforts from your budget. Hundreds of employees at FDA's Tobacco Center, including the director, have been let go. If we are genuinely concerned, and I believe you are, about the health...
Imagine Make America Great Again means bringing back big tobacco.
Of America,
Philip Morris.
Something as basic as the number one preventable cause of death is not served by that kind of dismissal. Let me take you to another issue that I think is personal to me in a way. It reflects a tragic situation involving ALS. A friend of mine named Brian Wallach used to work in the Obama White House. And Brian met his wife-to-be, Sandra Abravaya, who was my press secretary. They married. When their second daughter was born, Sandra came home from the hospital to learn that her husband had ALS. Brian and Sandra have been fighting a battle now for 8 years. He's still alive. He can no longer walk or talk, but he has hope. He loves his family, and he's hoping that something will break through in ALS that gives him a chance for a future. Please explain to Brian...
ALS fucking sucks.
...and Sandra and their 2 young daughters why you've canceled ALS grants at institutions across this country and why you think research for diseases like ALS should be cut by 40% next year.
Senator, I don't know about those cuts. I will have to, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if those were part of the rifts, in which case the people were not fired, but they were put on administrative leave.
Not fired. They just put on indefinite administrative leave forever.
The issues that you're talking about are issues that are important to me. Tobacco, ALS, and I know you have a passion for congenital heart disease as well. Those are all issues that I'm
Lou Gehrig's disease
deeply concerned with, and I'm happy to meet with you at any time and talk about the programs and what we can do to make them better.
Of course, you're welcome, and I think the conversation is important. But I want to remind you, on April 1st, 10 laboratory heads at National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Strokes received their layoff notices. They were all PhDs and senior...
That's Dick Durbin asking the question.
They were all PhDs and senior investigators, whatever that might be. They were running intramural labs at NIH. If you have your way, they'll all be gone on June 2nd. Science magazine reported 25 of 320 physician researchers at NIH's Internal Clinical Center are leaving, and the number of patients treated in the hospital has been reduced by 30%. 3 grants involving ALS and dementia work at Northwestern University in Illinois have been paused. One looking at how to stop the buildup of damaged proteins, another looking at cellular mechanisms that can be drug targets. Just last week, an ALS researcher at Harvard had his grant cut that was using AI to accelerate the reversal of ALS symptoms. Brian Wallach is waiting for a cure. He is not giving up. His source of hope is this research that you unfortunately are terminating. How can we possibly address his concerns and give hope to people across the country who are suffering for so many diseases when our government is cutting back on that research?
As I said, Senator,
I don't know.
I do not know about any cuts to ALS research, and I'm happy to meet with you.
I just read them.
They're literally cutting by doing search terms, right? If it's the verse, if it mentions gay, if it mentions anything that Trump, that MAGA would be so retarded to think that it's a liberal agenda. Health is not liberal. Healthcare is not liberal. Research is not liberal. But they fed it all into a database. They're looking. That's how you end up with pictures of the Enola Gay, the aircraft named after the pilot's mother that dropped the bombs on Hiroshima. That its image is deleted from the DoD website.
Yeah, I will have to go and talk with Jay Bhattacharya and find out what the rationale was.
The government is cutting back on that research.
As I said, Senator, I do not know about any cuts to ALS research, and I'm happy to meet with you.
I just read them to you.
Yeah, I will have to go and talk with Jay Bhattacharya and find out what the rationale was for those cuts. I just don't know about them until you told me about them at this moment.
He had no idea they were even happening. I didn't know that. I didn't even know those cuts were happening until you told me about them at that moment. Stopping the funding, stopping the research, stopping, kicking all these people off fucking healthcare, right? Raising the taxes of the lowest fucking bracket people. Someone's like, well, if you figure that up, they're only going to be paying this much taxes. It doesn't matter, right? This is a stand we should take, okay? We should not raise the taxes on people making less than $30,000 to find money to give to people making millions of dollars. That's a stand we should. I don't care if their tax bill went from $1 to $2 fucking dollars. They're making $15,000 or less a year. That is a minimum wage employee working 40 hours a week. And you're raising their taxes 75%. Again, I don't care if they're going from $1 to $2. We shouldn't be raising them. Especially when we're just fishing. You know that the Republicans did not pass their one big beautiful bill. It didn't pass out of committee on Friday. Not because they were cutting Medicaid, not because they were cutting Medicare, not because they were cutting food stamps, not because they were kicking all these people off insurance, not because they were kicking people off food stamps and all these new rules and the tax breaks to the wealthy and raising the taxes on the people who make less than $15,000 a year by 75% by 2033. Not because of any of that. But they thought they could cut more. So as much didn't go to the deficit. They don't want to get rid of the tax breaks for the wealthy that are the leading cause of the trillions they're going to add to the deficit. They think they can cut more programs for everybody else that is not the billionaires. They can cut more social services so it doesn't look as bad when they add it to the deficit. And Moody's over here downgrading our credit rating for the first time ever. Ever. Pretty wild. Dan Bongino making splashes. He's going to ruin your summer.
We're about to ruin your summer if you're a bad guy. So I'm just warning you now, don't buy movie tickets because you're probably not going to cash them in. If you're a violent criminal...
This sounds like a D-list actor getting his first role in a cop movie that's trying to come up with a catchphrase. If you're a bad guy, I wouldn't buy any movie tickets because you're not going to make it to the credits. I wouldn't worry about getting in shape for swimsuit season because you're going to be spending the summer in jail. Fucking stupid catchphrases.
Summer if you're a bad guy. So I'm just warning you now, don't buy movie tickets because you're probably not going to cash them in. If you're a violent criminal, this FBI under our leadership.
If they're really bad guys, they would just sneak into the theater. That's right.
This FBI under our leadership, we don't care who gets the credit. All we care about is making your streets safer. The attitude every morning from the president.
They don't care about who gets the credit, but they were claiming to have arrested most people on the most wanted list, Kash Patel himself, that were actually arrested under Joe Biden. But they don't care about the credit.
Criminal, this FBI under our leadership, we don't care who gets the credit. All we care about is making your streets safer. The attitude every morning from the president on down. He, the president of the United States, wants to be able to get out in front of the American people and say, your lives.
Where did Bongino appear on the scene? I don't know what you mean.
Are noticeably different. He wants people to be able to touch it and feel it. I don't care if you're in Stewart, Florida or Harlem, New York. He wants you to walk outside and say, wow, my neighborhood does.
He's right under Kash Patel. And then, of course, he worked for the Secret Service, and he's FBI or Fox News contributor. And then he went to podcasting, but now he's second in charge of the FBI.
Stewart, Florida or Harlem, New York. He wants you to walk outside and say, wow, my neighborhood does look different.
My neighborhood does look. If you're a bad guy, sell your movie tickets right now. If you're a bad guy, don't you even download Fandango. Better get the small popcorn, okay? Better get the small popcorn, my man. Then I've got this clip labeled From the Mouths of Babes. I don't know if you guys already saw this or not, but I thought it was funny.
Bobby Lynn?
So they have some type of, I don't know what's going on here, okay? This is from Fox News, by the way. I guess they had like bring your kid to work day or something. And the horrible press secretary is like Bobby Lynn. And let's see what she asks about President Trump. You're allowed to ask any question you want about President Trump.
Bobby Lynn?
How many people has he fired?
You can ask anything you want, Bobby Lynn. How many people has he fired? How many people has he fired?
How many people has he fired?
How many people?
Look, she even looks up. People laughed at her. She did not like that. She thinks she messed up.
Thus far, actually, we have not had anyone fired with the exception of one individual who did leave their job. But we have a great team here so far. So good. Thank you for the question.
Gifted Sarasota for a subscription.
Thank you.
Gifted a tier
You
1
idiot.
sub to Sarasota Foe. They have given 45 gift subs in the channel.
I appreciate that. Let's see what this story update is right here.
Well, this story is so insane that I can't believe that it's actually real. This right here is 33-year-old Ashley Pardo, and she has a middle school son in Texas. And apparently, she found out that her son was planning to do a school mass, And so what did she do? She purchased him firearms, ammo, and tactical gear to help him carry it out. Now, this was all supposed to go down at Rhodes
Dude, that's like a movie, dude. That's insane.
Middle School in San Antonio, Texas. And apparently this all started back in January, where the son was first contacted because they found a map, drawings of the school that were labeled self-unaliving route, except they used the real word with the name of the school beside a rifle. Now, apparently he had a fascination with mass shooters, including the 2019 Christchurch mosque shooting that took the lives of 50.
Oh, that's a bad one. The Christchurch shooting is a bad one. It even affected PewDiePie. The guy says subscribe to PewDiePie in the video. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video from there. It's bad.
$51 people in New Zealand. And he was researching that on a school computer, so they got him, suspended him that day, and later that evening he tried to take his own life using a straight razor blade.
It was at a mosque during Friday prayers. 2019, 2018?
Ended up requiring him to get over 100 stitches. Now, the boy's grandmother is the one who reported it because she found him trying to hit a bullet with a hammer, and when asked about it, she said, oh, well, Mom has some firearms, ammunition, everything at home, and so she contacted the police. The grandmother also found out that Mom had been taking the boy to surplus stores where she had purchased some additional magazines, tactical gear, including a vest that was capable of concealing ballistic plates, as well as
that's insane, dude.
Black helmet and various.
What kind of parent does this shit?
Army clothing. He also told his grandmother that he was going to be famous. But we're not done, because the grandmother then looked through the boy's bedroom and found magazines loaded with live rifle ammunition and pistol magazines loaded with live ammunition, as well as an IED mortar-style firework wrapped in duct tape, all in his belongings. And actually, one of them had the words written for Brendan Tarrant, referencing the shooter in the 2019 mosque attack that we had talked about earlier. That same device also had the letter S written twice, multiple times on it, as well as 14 words which references white supremacy on it. The grandmother also found notes in the boy's room that referenced past mass events, the people who were suspected or the people who did it, as well as the number of victims, as well as violent, expressive drawings. And on top of that, she told the police that the way the mom was, this woman, was purchasing this for her son was basically she was doing it for him in exchange for him babysitting his younger siblings. My mind is just absolutely blown by this. Drop your thoughts about this in the comment. By the way, she's out on $75,000 bail, just so you know. But drop your thoughts in the comments, and of course, hit that follow button so you stay up to date on these stories.
Damn. I did not expect that to be the story. That's insane. That's the first time I'd seen it. I just clicked on it while you guys were here. There's also this guy that I'm starting to love. It's weird. This guy is singing a foreign song about Nazis and how they're horrible people. And he's never, ever, ever mentioned a political party. But for some reason, all the MAGA people are in there like, we're not Nazis. Why don't you like Trump? He's saving the country. I can't believe you don't love Trump. He's never said a political party. Oh, that's not the right song. Hold on. Every song I've ever seen of his is doing it. As part of the white race, we don't claim him. Let me see. That I just so caught off guard that it wasn't the song, because every video I've ever seen of his. I say Yahtzees, you hear Trump supporters. That's a you problem.
Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn. Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn. Jetzt hier. Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn. 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 Jetzt hier.
I think they were singing this like in Germany or somewhere, and it was after like a football game. And it, like, I don't know, it's catchy though, isn't it?
Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn. Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn. Jetzt hier. Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn.
Can you believe that the American government...
Jeder Nazi ist ein Hurensohn.
It is weird that people are like, why don't you like Trump? What? He's talking about Nazis. He's not talking about Trump. It's very weird that you, or like, there was Fox News did an article on Trump graffiti popping up at a certain place. And the graffiti said, fuck the fascists. And they're like, anti-Trump graffiti. And they're like, who said Trump? It's kind of like you're telling on yourself a little bit there. Here's another song you guys might know at the famous Mar-a-Lago church service. Can you imagine being these evil bastards? Talk about bending Christianity to make it fit whatever you want. It's insane, isn't it? Our God is an awesome God. He helps us support those brown people. Disgusting. You think Jesus would be deporting people now? That it reminds me of that Walter Masterson clip where they're like, if Jesus were here today, would you let him in the country? And they're like, yeah, well, he's kind of, and the one lady's like, as long as he has the proper paperwork, documentation. Jesus Christ. Kristi Noem I don't think she's the dumbest person in the Trump administration. I don't. I do think she put up the dumbest answer from the Trump administration I've ever seen in my life. Check this out.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country.
No,
She said it, not me. What is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to remove people from this country. It is your constitutional rights that the government must say while they're putting you in jail, right? Can't be jailed without a charge. Can't be jailed, not allowed to see a fucking court. Has nothing to do with the... So it's Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2, and it says the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus, the great writ, shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. It's been around. It's like old fucking common law, right? Like old school common law. It was before our country even existed.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to...
So, suspend their right to what? She's confusing with habeas corpus with the fact that Trump thinks he can suspend habeas corpus.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President Lincoln used it.
Excuse me.
President Lincoln used it. You think President Lincoln used habeas corpus? Well, I'm sure he did when he was his regular life. I don't think that you think you know what you're talking about, but whatever.
Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
The government must provide a reason to arrest or detain someone. You can't just sit in jail for fucking ever. No charges, no reasoning, no law you broke.
Provides that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone.
Yet I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never been.
So now that she was reminded, now she thinks that the president has the right to suspend it. It's never been suspended without the approval of Congress. So Lincoln did suspend it and then thought better of himself and went to Congress and said, hey, I need your approval to suspend this. So he did do it first, but he retroactively got approval of Congress.
That habeas corpus provides that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone.
Yet I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States,
while it is not explicitly stated who has a right to suspend habeas corpus, it's generally accepted that it's a congressional power. But whatever.
Has the authority.
Habeas corpus provides that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone.
Yet I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to.
That is a big difference. That's a foreign national that specifically is not brought into the United States because of that. That's the reason Gitmo exists. That's the reason Black Sites exists. Because when you bring them onto United States sovereign soil, then they get more rights. I'm not agreeing with it, but that's the specific reason that Gitmo exists.
That habeas corpus provides that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone.
Yet I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let us be clear, though, that this
The Secretary of Homeland Security.
It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
Even Abraham Lincoln came back and got retroactive approval from Congress. And then we got two Marco Rubio clips. I think one is more telling than the other one. Here is Marco Rubio. If anybody should know what's going on with large foreign investors coming to visit the president, come to the United States to visit the president, it should be Marco Rubio. He has no fucking clue about it, or he's lying and says he doesn't.
Let me ask you about the dinner that's happening this Thursday night. The president has offered access to him to the 200 top purchasers of his meme coin. Reports are that maybe about half or more of those individuals who will be meeting with him, many in a VIP reception, are foreigners. Do you have a list of those foreign individuals who will be meeting with the president?
I don't.
Wouldn't that be important? He's a Secretary of State. He's the Secretary of State. They don't get many more higher positions than that, right? That's a huge fucking position for somebody that's not the president. He's the Chief Foreign Affairs Officer and leads our State Department, which faces every other country in the world. You don't think you should know who these multi-millionaire foreign nationals are that are coming to hang out with the president for a dinner?
Him, many in a VIP reception, are foreigners. Do you have a list of those foreign individuals who will be meeting with the president?
I don't.
He's only below the vice president. Like when you rank the president's cabinet, it's the president, vice president, and then Secretary of State.
I don't know anything about. I didn't even know there was a dinner on Thursday night, so I'm not sure what you're.
I didn't even know there was. I didn't even know there's a dinner on Thursday night.
Referring to.
So you don't know whether any of the foreign.
These are the investors for Trump's meme coin.
Individuals who are going to be meeting with the president this Thursday night, for instance, are on our list of sanctioned individuals, or whether any of those individuals have connections to, let's say, terrorist organizations abroad.
Well, I think if they had terrorist links, the Department of Homeland Security probably would not have allowed them into the country. But
well, if they're terrorists, they probably wouldn't let them in, so they're probably not terrorists.
Again, I don't even know there is a dinner on Thursday. You're asking me about something I don't know about.
Well, but listen, this is.
Shouldn't you though? Like, I understand you're saying I don't know about this gigantic thing that the president's about to fucking do. But I'm saying that's mind-blowing. Shouldn't you know about it? The president started a meme coin, had people invest in it, funneling him money through untraceable means or less traceable means. He has invited the top investors to come have a personal conversation with him at his house. Don't you think you should know about that?
Again, I don't even know there is a dinner on Thursday. You're asking me about something I don't know about.
Well, but listen, this is a dinner that the president is having. It is likely going to involve some very significant foreign interests. You have to be pretty wealthy in order to be able to get inside this dinner. Isn't that a relevant question for the Secretary of State?
Yeah, I'm not the social
Which foreign
secretary,
interests are going to be speaking?
When did we not care? I want people vetted. You know how we vet people? Due process.
The
Damn.
It's kind of nice. Listen, this is a dinner that the president is having. It is likely going to involve some very significant foreign interests. You have to be pretty wealthy in order to be able to get inside this dinner. Isn't that a relevant question for the Secretary of State?
Yeah, I'm not the social
Which foreign
secretary,
interests are going to be speaking to the president? I mean, it's kind of naive to believe that they aren't going to be in that room talking about national
security or national security issues. And then this one, I think, is probably even more telling of Rubio. They even mentioned some shit that he championed in the past. Rubio has changed everything about him, everything about what he stood for, everything about what he's championed, what he spoke out against, what he spoke out for. He's changed everything to fit to be Trump's guy, right? He's changed everything that he believes in to be Trump's guy.
Let me ask you about the dinner that's happening this Thursday.
Wrong clip. Hold on.
The president has offered access to...
It's this one.
I'm going to get right into it. Secretary Rubio, I'm going to embrace my Jewish mother instincts for a moment. So as a mother, a senator, and a fellow human being, I can tell you that I'm not even mad anymore about your complicity in this administration's destruction of U.S. global leadership. I'm simply disappointed.
Rubio has been one of the biggest people against cutting foreign aid, saying you can't cut foreign aid and expect us to have better outcomes, right?
And I wonder if you're proud of yourself in this moment when you go home to your family, because I've always found you, Senator Rubio, to be a bipartisan, pragmatic partner, a true believer that the U.S. is stronger when we lead with diplomacy and development. You have a strong record on this, but I don't recognize Secretary Rubio. A stalwart support of Israel. You've watched this administration abandon Saudi normalization with Israel in order to pursue business deals. You were once a fierce critic of Vladimir Putin, but you sat idly by as the president berated the elected leader of Ukraine for not capitulating.
Watch him sit there with his fucking head down. He should.
To Russia. And worst of all, you've kneecapped foreign assistance, including programs that you previously championed and made America less safe, less strong, less prosperous in doing so. I know you know this in your heart, and I can't make this point any better than you did yourself in 2019 when you said, anybody who tells you that we can slash foreign aid and that will bring us to balance is lying to you. So with that, I'm just going to move on to my questions. Can slash foreign aid, and you did yourself in 2019 when you said,
quote from him from 2019,
anybody who tells you that we can slash foreign aid and that will bring us to balance is lying to you. So with that, I'm just going to move on to my questions.
It's different, don't it?
And keep it with the...
Trump caught on camera praising Qatar royalty after they gifted him $400 million jet. Turns out they've been trying to sell this jet for a few years.
Title of your national anthem, I want to wish peace to the Emir and to all Qataris. Working together, we can help the entire region unlock its potential. You have unbelievable potential here. Such a great land, such beautiful, magnificent. It's just a magnificent place. And you're unlocking its potential. You have a truly great leader and royal family. You have a great leader. Because you can have great land, you can have great wealth, you can have oil all over the place, you can have the oil and gas like nobody has. If you don't have a good leader, it doesn't mean a thing, and you see it all the time. There are a lot of places with oil. There are a lot of places with everything that you're supposed to have for success and not successful. But you're successful because of
A man who's sitting on my lap is a special man. So I just.
He's a special man. He's a special man. He's a special little guy. Isn't he a special guy? I want to watch this. This was the most infuriating one, I think.
I want to put to rest this question about Mr. Garcia and this photo that the president posted on April 21. Madam Secretary, you agree that the letters MS and the number 13 in Times Roman numeral font, that they are doctored on this photo, right?
Congressman Abrego Garcia.
No, I'm just asking about this photo.
It wasn't based off of tattoos. It was based off an entire case.
And I'll accept that
case against him.
for the purpose of this question. You agree, though, that this is doctored. Is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have
with
credibility,
law
and
enforcement.
I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not
Sir,
doctored?
I am taken quite seriously.
Is it
because I
doctored
approach
or
my
not
job with
doctored?
The importance that the president has given me to do
I
my
understand.
job.
Is it doctored or not
One thing
doctored?
that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built.
Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have
you're-
any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you
I
take
don't, sir.
Can you show her the photo? Walk her the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
She won't even look at it, dude. She won't even look at the photo.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be
God, she's a horrible person.
able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am.
suspend their right
Habeas
to.
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let
been,
us be clear, though,
it
that
has
this
never
president,
been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
Wild. These people are fucking no shame. No shame whatsoever. They'll just do it to it. I don't think they built shame into these people. It's wild. Let me show you one more thing. I know I said I wouldn't get into it. You guys remember the super racist gorilla face mask guy? Yeah, so the reason that we have black sites is because they're going to say these people are incredibly dangerous. We can't bring them here. You know, what if they escape? Blah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah, right. Right. We would have around-the-clock security, blah, blah, blah. They'd have armed guards at them all the time. They don't just escape. But the reason they don't bring those people here is because we would have to afford them more rights if we brought them to you. That's the reason we have black sites. Or at least that's the reason I was told when I was in the military. Anyways, the guy with the gorilla face mask, the super racist guy, his name's Ray. He has now made a 6-part... Oh, did he take it down? He made a 6-part series of why he's not racist. A 6-part series of why he's not racist. It looks like somebody covered one of them. Let's see. He said he took the, hold on. It looks like he's taking them down. A 6-part series. And what do you think his number one thing was? What's the number one excuse for why I'm not really racist? He said he took the weekend off just to think about this, right? Just to go over and come up with the reasons that. I think this is where Good Trouble talks about it. Welcome to my new series, How Is That Racist? You nailed it.
I have never been racist. I am not racist. I will never be racist. I have friends.
I can't be racist.
What do you think number 2 reason is, if you had to guess? Number 2 reason is that for the last 10 years, I can't believe he took the videos down. He was so proud of them when he first put them up. I hope he got so much hate. The only people that could comment is people, mutual friends. Like you had to follow him and he had to follow you. I couldn't comment. The number 2 reason is for 10 years, he has donated 10% of his income to his local church. He adds that up and gives us a total of $60,000. And after donating a 10% tithe for 10 years to his church of a total of $60,000, it goes out to help all communities, including a lot of racist people. Or a lot of black people. I don't know why I said racist. A lot of black people. And he has never once went and said, no, I don't want my church donations going to those people. He's never once done that. Ever.
I got black friends. Not only does this not prove that you're not racist, it is in itself a little racist. You're going to hate that, but here's why. Claiming friendship with a certain group of people, in this instance black people, is tokenizing them. You are reducing your friends to props in order to deflect accountability. It is minimizing your friendship and reducing it so that they serve a...
He says that. He says that too. He says, I know in my heart, and my friends that I showed this to know that I'm not racist. I don't even see color. When I put that video up, I was never even thinking somebody might look at this and think it's racist. I was just being a gorilla. But that's because I don't see color like you do. What's up, Jamie?
Purpose rather than being actual friends with them. Racism is a system.
Thanks for watching all the replays.
Just black people and people of color, and you saying that you're friends with them does nothing to dismantle or address the systemic nature of racism. Your proximity to black people does not mean that you've lifted a single finger in an effort to unpack your unconscious prejudice or implicit bias, which often leads to disgusting behavior like microaggressions and discriminatory behavior.
I know the way I was raised. I know the things I said when I was young, the things people around me that said they were young, the way people taught me about things. I know that I have fucking underlying racist issues. I know it. Just the way I was raised around that. Like I didn't even see a black person until I started playing sports in high school. I didn't even see a black person in real life. I'm sure I saw athletes on TV and shit until I was an athlete in high school.
Behavior, which means that your black friends are subject to your little bacon bits of racism you don't even know that you're doing, which means that your friends are not free from racism even when they're with you, their friend. This is going to be a long series, turns out.
I wish his thing was still up. I'm sure somebody downloaded them. I just don't know how to find them. I do like Good Trouble. Damn, it looks like they're gone. Got rid of them quick, didn't he? It was on his Political Punches channel, which is the channel that he put together to get people to like the left and the right to fight each other for some reason. And I watched it. But it looks like he's taking them down now. Again, it was a 6 fucking part series. Here's part 1. I don't know how much of this he goes over, though. I know I saw some people responded to it, but I doubt they would have got reported and taken down because he kind of talks. So he doesn't say anything wild. just stuff that racist people would say about not being racist.
My racism with the use of a gorilla filter.
Don't worry, I'm in a good mood, so I'm gonna be gentle.
That gorilla filter has been used 2.2 million times. I'm gonna go after the other 2.2 million people.
So as long as you do a bad thing enough times, it becomes okay.
Said that I used a filter to depict a black man. That didn't happen. Y'all act like my cousin Shaq didn't dominate the NBA for decades.
I mean, if you were trying to be a female cousin of Shaq's, then I guess just interesting choice in voice.
And you guys said, oh, you use a different voice. You tried to sound like a black man. I didn't say that. Y'all did that. Y'all gonna have a wife named Manila. I'm gonna take her. We gonna call that Gorilla and Manila.
What did you think that voice sounded like?
I used a different voice because I was a gorilla. I was playing a part of a gorilla. Y'all made it about race. Because the left always makes it about race.
I mean, if the accent was supposed to be completely arbitrary, then why not sound like you were from Ireland? Or from Scotland? Maybe from down under? Because it sounded a lot more like Martin Lawrence than it did Martin Sheen, if you get my drift.
I had no clue that it was going to be misconstrued as racism. You know why? Because I'm not racist.
No, you had no clue because you have no clue.
People who aren't racist don't view things as potentially being racist because they don't actually see color. I'm not racist. You are. That's your party.
Calling the people who
He doesn't see color.
understand racism better than you racist is like calling a firefighter an arsonist.
So I said, my cousin Shaq, which has been referenced multiple times for Shaquille O'Neal.
Again, as long as everybody else is doing it, right?
Referenced that as him comparing him to a gorilla because of his stature, not because of his skin color. That's a you thing. You did that. I did it because of his stature, which many of people have done.
Look, we all know you fucked up. I think you know you fucked up because you took all 6 of your videos defending your actions down. Listen, it's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is refusing to accept accountability.
So it seems like people know he took them down. And I just saw him this morning, and this video was made 13 hours ago. They must not have been up long.
And apologize for those mistakes. This is exactly why we call Trump supporters and the whole MAGA movement racist. You guys just flat out refuse to learn anything about what your actions and what your words do to harm other people. You, a white dude, used a gorilla filter, talked like a black dude, and referenced taking Manila women away from other guys. I don't know how to tell you this any more plainly than we have for centuries, but that is racist as fuck. I'm going to give you some credit because I can tell you know that being racist is bad. So I want to help you out. Here are some books that I've read that I would highly...
It does seem like he knew being racist was bad because he wanted to deny that right away. It wasn't one of these like, yeah, I guess I'm racist. Fuck it. Right. Kind of deal. Like that girl in Pierce Morgan. It was like, I am not a racist. I go to church and I donate. And he says at one point that this is a good program, but this doesn't mean that you can't be racist. But his church, through the donations they had raised, they bought a grocery store that was going out of business. And once a week, they still get deliveries and have the place stocked up. And you can come there like a food bank and just get whatever you need. Like low-income housing or low-income people can come there and get food. That's a good program. Doesn't mean you can't be racist.
Highly recommend. Pick a single one, just read one, and tell me if you didn't learn something. In the meantime, might I suggest taking a break from talking about what isn't racist? It's a little embarrassing.
My racism with the use of a gorilla filter.
Don't worry, I'm in a good mood.
I can't believe he took them all down. I guess he figured it out, huh? I guess he figured it out, huh?
So I'm going to be gentle.
That gorilla filter is...
I wonder if this guy responded to any more of them or just that one. Yeah, just the one. Oh, well. Got them all taken down. It wasn't... we were going to go over it, but it wasn't really worth it. It was just
in a 9 to
him being a fucking lunatic.
Facilitate the return to the United States of Abrego Garcia, who the administration admitted was wrongfully deported to El Salvador. Your response?
By the way, that lawyer that was fired, that lawyer that admitted they wrongfully deported him and the motion they filed was fired within like a day or two.
Openly flouted judicial orders. When asked whether you have been in touch with El Salvador to return Abrego Garcia, you boasted, quote, I would never tell you that. And you know who else I would never tell? A judge. Clearly, you don't care about the Fifth Amendment right to due process, and you don't care about the First Amendment either, since you've been very busy snatching students off of college campuses for exercising their right to free speech. You dredged up a relic from the McCarthy era to claim that student protesters posed a threat to the foreign policy of the United States. Give me a break, Mr. Secretary. You know as well as I do this isn't about national security. It's about punishing free speech. And you know that in America, the government doesn't get to use its power to punish speech it doesn't like.
That's right.
Yet in March, you boasted about revoking student visas, saying, and I'm quoting, we do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa, unquote. Let's look at one of those lunatics, Mr. Secretary. Ms. Ozturk. Her crime was co-authoring an op-ed in her college paper critical of Tufts University's response to the war in Gaza. Your own department found zero links to terrorism, no anti-Semitic statements, but you still yanked her visa and shipped her off to detention in Louisiana. And the list goes on and on. The federal judge in the case of Mohsen Madawi, who is the Columbia student who was ambushed by federal agents at his citizenship appointment, said, and I quote, this is the judge, legal residents not charged with crimes or misconduct are being arrested and threatened with deportation for stating their views on the political issues of the day. Our nation has seen times like this before, especially during the Red Scare and Palmer raids. Like the McCarthy-era witch hunts of the 1950s, your campaign of fear and repression is eating away at foundational values of our democracy. Back then, it took one voice, Attorney Joseph Welch, to cut through the hysteria with the simple question that marked the beginning of the end of that shameful era. He asked Senator McCarthy, have you no sense of decency? And I would ask you the same, Secretary Rubio. You have shown through your words and your actions what the answer is. And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State.
I respond.
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
The Supreme Court in a 9-0.
Ooh, that was rough. Don't you guys miss this sometimes? I know he wasn't great. Look, I know this wasn't a great guy. But don't you miss when the biggest issue was that, like, yeah, our president's kind of dumb.
I look at you and Trent. I can see a little chemistry there.
Are you okay, Governor?
What?
You okay?
I can't hear you because I can't see. We dedicated the orange today to you. It said, "We love Alexandria." It didn't actually say love. It had a heart on it. That's a universal symbol for love. You're the orange of my eye. I'm not answering your questions.
Why not?
Because you came after me the other day. You went below the belt. Stop filming me. You're like a head cold. You know something? This is going to be a lousy documentary. You think you're going to make it a good documentary? Okay, let's be serious.
Okay, let's be serious. If you were a tree, what tree would you be?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I'm a bush. And you felt like you had to hold his hand in order to be able to have that amplify the discussion?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not sure what. Let them know, or had your campaign let them know. You're walking on the beach.
That's right. I did walk on the beach. Are you excited about all the quality time you're going to get to spend with us here on the plane?
That's a good thing.
Did you have too much to drink last night?
Did you say see what his schedule is?
Hi, Mom.
Did you get any votes in there, Governor?
Yeah, I won some. You might have lost a few for me, though, by blocking the way. Okay, everybody film her filming me, will you? Very good.
That's art.
You made that. No, that's not art. That's Jim. Okay, now I skate across.
In his race to become leader of the free world.
Wow, look who's coming down the street. I can hear that jingling, jangling.
Was he a drunk? I don't think so. He doesn't show any of the classic signs of alcoholism. Trump wants a major investigation into Beyonce, Oprah, and other celebrity endorsements of Harris. President Donald Trump alleged without evidence that stars like Bruce Springsteen, who just called out Trump a few days ago, that Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce were paid by Kamala Harris to endorse her campaign. President Donald Trump said he plans to call for a major investigation into celebrity endorsements that Kamala Harris received during the 2024 campaign, alleging without evidence that Bruce Springsteen, Oprah Winfrey, U2's Bono, and Beyonce were paid to publicly support the Democratic nominee. Representatives of several of the entertainers targeted by Trump, all of whom have previously endorsed Democratic candidates for president, have rejected rumors that they were paid to appear with Harris and back her campaign. Trump and a 1:34 a.m. post on Truth Social accused Harris of paying for their endorsement under the guise of paying for entertainment in a desperate effort to artificially build up her sparse crowd. Springsteen, Beyonce, and Winfrey each headlined campaign events for Harris. Bono, who is from Ireland, did not, nor did he publicly even endorse her candidacy. It's not legal for all these unpatriotic entertainers. This was just a corrupt and unlawful way to capitalize on a broken system, Trump said. Trump did not elaborate on the investigation he has in mind or what entity he wants to lead it. The Federal Election Commission does not have rules against explicitly prohibiting candidates from paying for endorsements. Trump followed up on his overnight social media post with a subsequent post at 9:11 a.m., singling out Beyonce with an unfounded claim involving a rally she hosted in October 2024 for Harris in Houston. Trump wrote that, according to a news report, Beyonce was paid $11 million to walk on stage, quickly endorse Kamala Harris, and walk off to loud booing for never having performed, not even one song. Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, and perhaps many others have a lot of explaining to do, Trump said in his post. It is unclear where Trump got this unsubstantiated $11 million figure. The Harris campaign last year rejected a rumor that it paid Beyonce $10 million for her endorsement that spread on social media shortly after the music star's October 2024 appearance with Harris. Beyonce, Springsteen, Winfrey each endorsed Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in previous elections, including the 2016 and 2020 races in which Trump was the Republican nominee. Bono has a long history of backing liberal causes. The Harris campaign paid $165,000 to Beyonce's production company, Parkwood Production Media LLC, according to finance records reported to the FEC. The payment came about a month after the two appeared together at the Houston rally. Beyonce did not perform at the rally, but instead spoke about her support for Harris alongside her Destiny Child's group mate, Kelly Rowland. Tina Knowles, the mother of Beyonce, pushed back at the $10 million rumor at the time, calling it false information and a lie in a post on Instagram. In fact, she actually paid for her own flight for her and her team, Knowles said. Trump escalating his feud with Bruce Springsteen. The Harris campaign, which spent lavishly after raising more than $1 billion over just 107 days, also paid $1 million to Harpo Productions, the company Winfrey owns, after television star hosted a town hall event for Harris that featured appearances from other celebrities such as comedian Chris Rock, actress Julia Roberts, and Meryl Streep, and Ben Stiller, and singer Jennifer Lopez. The payments to Winfrey's production company came in two $500,000 sums on October 15, 2024. Winfrey said the money went to employees who put on the event, not her personally. I did not take any personal fee, Winfrey said in a video posted on Instagram. However, the people who worked on that production need to be paid, and were. End of story. After Harris emerged as the 2024 Democratic nominee, Beyonce granted her campaign permission to use her song Freedom as its anthem. Winfrey, a registered independent voter who previously endorsed Clinton and Obama, delivered a forceful case for Harris during the primetime appearance at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Trump's focus on Springsteen comes after Trump lashed out at the rock icon after he condemned the president's corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous administration during his first show of his British tour last week. That's the one I was talking about. Never liked him, never liked his music or his radical left politics, and importantly, he's not a talented guy, Trump said. Bruce Springsteen has no talent, guys. Trump said in May 16th post on Truth Social, just a pushy, obnoxious jerk who fervently supported Crooked Joe. Crooked Joe. Sometimes he's sleepy, sometimes he's crooked. Now he's got stage 9. That's a big stage, you know. Stage 9 cancer. The doctors told me if I ever had cancer, it'd be stage 11. Stage 11. I can't even start at 9. God damn. Trump's annoying as fuck. One more time for the people who missed it. Here we go.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not sure why I was tagged in this one so much. So welcome to my new series. I actually followed that one. Here we go.
When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, the drone is killing
drones are bad.
people. You hide behind the tree and the drone comes down and it circles you with fire. You don't have a
very
chance.
dangerous.
The tree comes down also, by the way. So intense.
Yeah, it takes down the trees. Okay, trees too.
Like
yeah.
they're being sawed down by a top of the line timberman. Like
a timberman, right. Like Sean Duffy, exactly.
You know Sean Duffy,
if you don't know, is head of the
who's working right now in the airports and getting assistance because Biden didn't do a thing for 4 years. And Pete Buttigieg
sucks, got it.
And he goes bicycling to work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe he's running the biggest air system in the world and he takes a bicycle to work? And they say he's going to run for president. I don't see
president if you ride a
Who knows, right? But I don't see it. But when I look at what they've
back to Biden, right?
It's so horrible what they've done. They did. They wasted billions of dollars. They tried to hook up
so bad
to copper. They tried to hook up copper to glass.
Copper doesn't
work with copper.
To glass.
They had 30,000 different contractors doing 30,000 jobs.
That's crazy. That's so many contractors. Yeah.
It didn't even come close to working. We're going to be giving out a brand new system. It's very important.
It's going to be a lot better.
We'll have the best system, and we think we know who that system is, but we have a lot of...
We don't know who that system is going to be yet, but yeah.
We have 5,000 contractors in all different places, some digging ditches.
Right.
And some
what's going to be great...
Ditches because they want to go by satellite. Satellite seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, they're not going to argue.
So we're going to be giving that up pretty soon.
The satellite
but what people don't know about Sean, because I mentioned...
Back to Sean Duffy, right.
That Sean, he probably didn't know this. I'm not talking about this Sean. This Sean, no.
Not this Sean. Different Sean.
Sean Duffy, head of transportation.
He's the head of transportation. But the Sean is great, though.
Sean Duffy was the
head of transportation
5 years.
He's a timberman, right.
Up and down, world champion.
Right.
So that's what you call a serious lumberjack. And he's doing a fantastic job.
And he's doing great at his job. But also, remember, he's a timberman, right.
When somebody's a champion, he's the world champion.
World champion, got it.
He came down, when you come down those trees, coming down at a rapid, he said that started getting you back.
It's rough.
Your back.
Yeah,
you miss a shot and you're coming down a lot faster than the human body was meant to come down.
And breaking your back could technically also happen in a drone strike, so clearly he's threaded a line of reasoning from the beginning of his point to its conclusion. Checkmate, libs.
Checkmate, libs. Yes, it's a rule. Why do you think they're telling you it's a rule?
We're all going to die.
We're all going to die.
Morning, everybody. Morning. Okay, what do we have today? Canada. All right, well, maybe we'll get lucky.
If the mods have to tell you you're off topic, you're way the fuck too far off topic. No one wants to talk about Phil's show or whether he made it or not. You're way too fucking off topic. No one wants to hear about how you don't like black people or have black friends or whatever. Way off topic.
We can just keep him on autopilot.
And to be
Peak weave.
Canada only works as a state.
Nope. That was fast. Okay, anybody, clarify why Canada... Morning, everybody. Morning. Okay, what do we have today? Canada. All right, well, maybe we'll get lucky and we can just keep him on autopilot.
And to be honest with you, Canada only works as a state.
Nope. That was fast. Okay, anybody, clarify why Canada is so valuable to us.
We don't need anything they have.
Literally the opposite of what I asked. Okay, again, why should Canada be a state?
As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. This would be the most incredible country visually. If you look at a map.
Okay, that was just him talking about shapes he likes, so let's let someone else take over.
They drew an artificial line right through it between Canada.
Does Trump not know that every border's an artificial line? Like, some of them are kind of marked by like a river or this or that or the other, but they're all artificial lines. Is that why that must be why he's so impressed with the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America now, right? He thinks it's out there actually floating around in the goddamn water.
Canada and the U.S., just a straight artificial line.
Just a straight artificial line. Yep.
So suddenly we think countries' borders are arbitrary. Does anybody see how that might conflict with some of his earlier policies? Look, okay, we're going to do a hard reset for a sec. Let's put him on low power mode.
Somebody did it a long time ago, many, many decades ago, and it makes no sense. It's so perfect as a...
It's part of a treaty for the big, long, straight portion of it, right?
Great and cherished state.
And back online. Okay, execute crazy deflection protocol in 3, 2...
Keeping O Canada, the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it. But it'll be for the state, one of our greatest states.
And everyone is officially more confused by that than anything.
You can have your national anthem. You can keep it. Oh, Canada, I love it. But it'll be a state national anthem.
he said before. Great job, everybody. Okay, look, we don't have code for Canada yet. He doesn't know the plural of moose. He thinks maple syrup is the tears of a tree. So we need to avoid this subject as much as we can, all right? All right, I'm going to go de-stress borders of the break room.
This Dave Colombo guy's pretty funny. He's a comedian, obviously, if you didn't know. I think I've seen about all of them. Factorio. Fetterman v. Trump. All right, guys. I guess I'm out for the night. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to start coming on earlier. Got here a little bit early today, but not like I want to. I need to be coming in preferably eventually at 8 p.m. eventually. That's going to take some working up to, okay? But we are going to come on earlier, trying to capture a bigger audience. If you're interested in watching then, if not, watch the replay later. Consider supporting the show. That's how I pay the bills currently. And the bills just keep coming in. You can do that at coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. But one thing, make sure you're following my other social media. I got Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, and Discord. So make sure you're following me, my other social media sites, just in case I get banned or you don't get a notification or whatever happens, right? Follow me on one of those. And thank you for that. And then the links are there for Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and a bunch of other donation links. The easiest one to use is just a PayPal link. It's down here at the bottom. It just says donate. That's the PayPal link. It doesn't send an alert on the show, but I get an email. I can thank you on the show if you want me to. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you about the next one. Love you. See ya. Bye. I'm getting hungry. I'm trying to beat the storm home, too. I just now started getting here, so maybe it won't be too bad. Wish me luck in the tornado we got coming.
To call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are.
It's a hell of a good day to die.
You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them beds, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking
mommy milkers.
Gossip, worshiping drums, cocking, begging for.
Did I say that out loud?
Fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong, starving for attention.
Mutton chops.
First, I'll be your hope.
Thank you very much for the donation. Baby. I just opened the email and got one. Thank you. Jamie's dad. I have not looked for this to see if it's delivered yet. Jamie's dad is featured in a military book that just recently came out, and I'm going to read it and then hopefully be able to recommend it to you guys. If you want to check it out, I think it's interesting. It's called The Battling Bastards of Bravo. I ordered it, but I haven't even checked to see if it's delivered. I've just been busy. Sorry, man. But I'm going to read it. Check it out. The Battling Bastards of Bravo. You can get it on Amazon. If you guys want a link, at least check it out. Hold on.
Orbit strapped to an F-16, high on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? Stop.
And if you buy it through this link, I think the show makes like a penny or something. So there you go.
Give me oh my God. Damn it.
Seems like it'd be interesting. It covers a bunch of guys in the unit. There you go. It's 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry, 101st Airborne Division. Vietnam, I think. 68 through 71, Vietnam.
Round 3. Down goes Nino. He say it isn't.
Seems like it'd be a cool book. Check out.
Ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders. They ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network do no damn research. They rework.
If you want a more If you want a more sultry book title, I got one for you. It would be this link. Let me grab it for you. You ladies would like this. It is called the Morning Glory Milking Farm. The Morning Glory Milking Farm. You can check that out. Is that not what I said? 1st Battalion, 506, 101st Division, right?
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.
Try the milking farm, guys. We can start a